So today we'll discuss about indentation. The first thing is we'll discuss about indentation, and then second we'll see selection statements. So apart from these two, we'll also discuss about variables and data types. Right? Anyhow, we have started yesterday variables and data types. We'll continue the same here also because variables are part of every program. No matter any programming language you will discuss, whether it is C, C++, or Java, or even Python. Where without variables, we will not be writing most of the time the programs. Unless we write a very simple program at the beginning of learning of any programming language, we will be definitely using variables because variables are used to store data temporarily in our programs for later use. So we'll discuss about variables also along with these two topics. So first let us discuss about indentation. So this indentation is very important aspect in writing Python programs. Normally if it is in C language, you'll be writing the code inside a function. At least you'll have one function, and if you have only one function there, that is the main function, right? So how will you begin the main function definition? That means you'll have a name called, for example, in this example, the name of the function is main here, and then you'll have a parenthesis opened and closed, right? And then you'll open a brace and close the brace at the end. In between the opening and closing braces, you'll write some set of statements here, ending with semicolon. Right, we'll be writing some set of statements, each statement ending with a semicolon. If you observe uh, in C and Java, soon after you open a brace, what will you do? It is your wish whether you want to give a some space like this, one or two spaces like this after opening the brace for each line, or you can write from the first column itself in that line. Some people will be giving a tab space. Okay, so now here in this block again, if you are opening some other for loop or if block or something like this, say if there is an expression, if some expression is there, then you'll open a brace again, right? And then close the brace corresponding to that opening brace. And again here also you'll give some one tab space and write some statements ending with a semicolon. So what you're doing, how will you understand this is the beginning of if block? These statements are part of this if block, and all these statements are part of this main function block. How will you understand? Because you have a brace opened, right? Soon after a brace is opened, you must understand that this is the beginning of a block of statements. And when you close the brace, you'll understand that that is the end of that block of statements. And when you talk about blocks of statements means a block of statement means one or more statements enclosed within a braces. So even if you have a single statement enclosed within a brace, then that is called as a block. So these blocks can be of different types. They can be function blocks, they can be selection blocks like if block, else block, and they can be iterative blocks like for loop block will be there, while loop block will be there, do block will be there. In case of C language, you also have a switch block, right? So in that way, you have different types of blocks. So you write the code inside blocks, and how will you understand in your program that this is a beginning of a block and this is end of a block? With the help of a brace. Whenever you encounter a brace in your program at a particular line, you must understand that that is the beginning of a block of statement. And immediately when a closing brace appears after an opening brace occurs, you must understand that with that the block till now which you were passing through will be the end of that block. Okay, so in that way you can understand easily with these braces. But coming to Python, we don't actually use functions. I told you, as I told you earlier, Python allows you to follow any kind of approach. You can use procedure oriented approach. You can use object oriented approach. And if you don't want to use any of them, you can directly write program without any blocks like function blocks and all these things. So we have seen in yesterday's examples also. We have not created any functions. We didn't define any functions in our program. Later we'll see how to define functions in Python also. But as of now, we are not defining any function. Directly we are writing the code outside of all the functions, right? So what if you want to use selection statements or iterative statements? Selection statement means if statement, if else statement, switch case statement, all these come under selection statements. Iterative statements means for loop, while loop, do while loop, all these come under iterative statements. Why they are called as it is selection statements and why they are called as iterative statements means, a selection statement, if you observe, for example, let me delete this part. All this syntax is in C. I'm not discussing regarding Python, because as of now you didn't start yet selection statements in Python, right? So that's why I'm taking an example in C so that you'll understand. So now, if you look at this example, this is an if-else block. So you know about it. You are very familiar with this if-else block in C, Java, and even in JavaScript also we'll be using this one, right? When you look at this, look at the expression in the if block. This is called as if statement, and the brace from here till here, whatever is there, this is called as if block. And similarly, the block of statements which are enclosed within these two braces is nothing but else block. So generally, in a simple if else statement, you will have an expression in the if statement, and you will not have any expression for the else statement. In if statement, when that expression that is enclosed in that if parenthesis, if this expression is evaluated true, then this statement block will be executed. That means if block will be executed. And coming to this else block, this will be executed when this expression is false. So what happens in your program is, if expression is equal to true, then which statement will be executed? If block will be executed. Otherwise, that means if expression is equal to false, then else block will be executed, right? Else block executes. So what you're doing here is, you're making a selection whether to execute an if block or the else block, but not both. If the condition is true, that is if the expression is evaluated true, then the if block gets executed. Otherwise, the else block gets executed. So here what you're doing, you have two options here, either to execute if block or to execute else block. So among these two, you are selecting only one. And how you are selecting? By the expression value. What will be the expression's value? It will be either true or false. If it is true, you are selecting this statement block. Otherwise, you are selecting this else block. So only whichever block you have selected, that block gets executed, and the other block will be ignored, right? So you are making some kind of selection, and hence the name selection statements for if else. Not just if else statement. Even if you are using a simple if statement which will not have an else block, which does not have a else block, right? Even here also, either you will select this block and execute it, or you will not select it. If this expression is true, then this if block will be executed. Otherwise, If any other statements are there after this if block, they get executed by ignoring this if block. So either you'll select it or you'll not select it. So in whatever may be the statement, whether it is a simple if statement, if else statement, if else if ladder, nested if statement, in all these types of if statements, and even in switch case statement also. In switch case statement also, in the switch statement you will have a choice variable, and if the choice variable is matching with case 1, the block which is part of case 1 will be executed. Remaining all case blocks will be ignored. So out of n number of case blocks that you have in the switch block, only one case block will be executed. The remaining case blocks will be ignored. If none of them is selected, then there is additionally default block. So the default block gets executed. In whatever may be the case, only one block will be executed. That means you are selecting among n plus 1 blocks that are available in switch statement. Only one of them you are selecting to execute. So even switch case statements also come under selection statements, right? So in that way, every programming language will have a set of selection statements. So Python also supports with selection statements, right? So whenever you want to use these selection statements or iterative statements, we'll not discuss about iterative statements today, we'll discuss it later. But today we'll let us confine to selection statements only. Okay, so let me remove all these things. Now let us come back to our Python. So why we need to link both these indentation and selection statements and discuss here means, because whenever you use an if block, immediately you have to open a brace if it is in C or in Java or even in JavaScript. But Python does not support the concept of those braces. Instead of using braces, it will use something else called indentation. This is the first point that we mentioned here, right? So indentation is used in Python to specify the beginning of a block. Okay, and what is indentation means? Just before I told you, right, in an if block, what will you do? After the block is open, you'll open the brace, and at the end you'll close the brace. And in between the braces, it is optional for the programmer to give one space or two spaces or multiple spaces, or even sometimes some people will use a tab space, right? So in that way, instead of giving these braces, I can directly give the tab space or single space, right? Say for example, I want to give an if statement, and if that condition is true in the text if block if statement, then I want to print some value. So to write the print statement now in Python after if block, inside the if block, you need not open the brace, okay, and these parentheses are also not required. So you can directly write the expression after giving a space after the if keyword, and after the expression you have to give a colon symbol. Okay, so this colon symbol specifies that in the following line of your program, a block is going to start, a block of statement is going to start, and after this colon symbol is started, after in the next line what you need to do is you need to give at least one space. It is your wish, but you have to give at least one space. You can give one space or two space or three space, okay, and until you end that block, for every line you must give the same space. In the first line, that is in this first print statement, you have given one space, okay, then in the second line also you have to give the same space. Say in the second line also I want to have another print statement, then I have to give the same space that I have left for the first print statement. Okay, so if I give two spaces, I have to give two spaces here for the second print statement. If you are feeling that you are getting confused with this one, then better use a tab key. So on your keyboard you will have a tab button, right? So give a tab space. This will give 8 spaces, 8 blank spaces. So follow the same concept. Use same tab space for all the lines that you want to put them in if block. Okay, and whenever you want to close that block, that means I want to write one more print statement here, but I don't want this print statement to be part of my if block. So remove the tab space and write it normally from the beginning of the line. So this when your program is executed, what the Python interpreter will treat is these two statements, these two print statements will be considered as part of if block, and this print will not be considered part of if block. Okay, so the process of giving this, leaving this space before the lines, before each line inside that if block or any iterative for loop block or anything, that is nothing but called as indentation. And this indentation is very important, and you have to use same amount of space, that is same indentation for all the lines in your block, whatever block it may be. A block can be an if block or else block, or it can be a for block, it can be a while block, anything, it can be a function block. Okay, so for all the blocks indentation is mandatory. And uh, how to give that indentation means, in that block if you have left one space for the first line of the block, then you have to use the same one space for all the remaining lines in that block. That means for all the lines in your if block or any other block, you have to give the same amount of space. You cannot give different amount of space. For example, for the first line I'm giving two spaces here, but for the second line how many spaces I'm giving? One tab space, that means 8 spaces. So this will generate an error for you. Okay, so let us see this by writing an example program, simple example program. So I'll show you. I'll show you how to use a simple if statement. In Python, instead of having a if else if block, we'll have a block called if elif. ELIF. There is a keyword called ELIF. Instead of else if, you'll have simply elif. Okay, you'll also have else block. Else is different. Else will be at the end after all the blocks. But in between you have something called if else if ladder, right? So instead of if else if ladder, you'll have if elif else. So there is a new keyword here in Python called elif. Okay, so let me show you an example program here today. So as you know, yesterday we have discussed about this input function and int function. So because input function reads data from the keyboard and stores them in string format irrespective of what value you give as input. Even if you give a numeric value also, that will be represented in the form of a string. So that's why we require a function called int function to convert into an integer format. So let us write a small program for finding the largest among two numbers. So we'll read two numbers now and we'll check which one is greater. Okay, so let me write that if statement. How to write this if statement? A greater than B. So you have the same greater than operator, there is no change in Python, so you have to use the same symbol. So after the expression, as per the syntax that we discussed just before, you have to give a colon symbol, right? So after you go to the next line, you want to write some statements in the block, give a tab space. I'll be using tab space for convenience, because instead of typing the space key multiple times, I'll give a single tab space, single click on the tab space, then it will give a more significant amount of indentation space. If I give one line or two, one space or two space, what will happen is, if my if block or any other block that I'm writing in my program, if it is having multiple lines, that means if say more than 10 lines of statements are there in that if block, then I may get confused whether I've used one space or two spaces at the beginning of the block and whether I'm giving the same amount of space at the in the last line of the block or not, right? So to avoid such confusion, what to do is follow one single space or one tab space. If I give simply one single space, sometimes it may appear like it is not equal to one single space. It is there is no space at all, right? So to avoid such confusion, what I'm doing is I'm going to use a tab space after I begin a block. And now once I close the block, I'll remove the tab space and continue with the leftmost far side of the window. So what we need to do now, if A is greater than B, then what we need to do, we have to print A is largest, right? So now to display A is largest, you can write directly A here. Uh, say for example A value is 10, then I want to say 10 is largest. Instead of saying A is largest, I want to say 10 is largest. So print the value of A, directly use that variable name A outside the double quote. So after the variable name A, you give a comma, then write the A is largest. Okay. Then what you need to do, you have the else block, right? Else what you need to do, you have to print what you need to do. You have to print B, sorry, B is either equal to A or largest, right? So if A is greater than B, A is largest, you can say. If A is not greater than B, that you have two more options, right? Either A is equal to B or B is greater than A. So we don't know which is the case. So that's why I am writing B is either equal to A or largest. So I'm saving it in my D drive Python folder. Again, in this I also have another subfolder with name Python. So let me save it here. So what is the command for running the program? Python space, file name is indent.py. So it will ask me to enter a number 5. So now 9. So look at the output. 9 is either equal to A or largest, right? So we have mentioned A here. Instead of A, I want the value of A. So then what you need to do is close the double quote here, give a comma and specify A, and again one more comma here, and then open the brace, open the double quote again. So this will happen. The size increased. Okay. So if you now execute this program once again, now I'm giving 5 and 9. So look at the output. 9 is either equal to 5 or largest. So I hope you understood this, the print statement, how I have written the print statement, right? Because I want the value of B to be printed, I am first writing the B variable B inside the print statement. Then I have to concatenate with this message is either equal to or largest, right? So that's why after giving a comma, I'll open the double quote and mention is either equal to, and again the value of a must be displayed. So close the double quote, give a comma, and then mention the variable name a. Again after that give one more comma and again open the double quote and mention or largest. So this will give you the output this way: 9 is either equal to 5 or largest. So now I want to give a clarity in my program. Instead of printing this message as b is either equal to a or largest, depending on whether both the values are equal or one is greater than the other, I have to mention if a is largest, a is largest. If b is largest, then b is largest. If both are equal, then I want to print both are equal. So how to write that program for that one? Instead of else statement, I want to give one more condition here, expression. So now I have to use another keyword called elif. So when you use an elif statement, this is similar to if statement, right? It is similar to else if in C language. Instead of else if, you'll write it as elif. You have to give the expression here: b greater than a. Then what you can do here, you can remove this all these things and simply display b is largest. And then if both the conditions are not true, then finally the else block will be executed. Then this else block, what it does is it will display print. I'll write a and or equal. Hope you understood this, right? This is similar to if else if ladder in C language. You'll have a continuous set of expressions. If the first expression here a greater than b is true, then this block, this print statement gets executed. If this is false, then we'll go and check this expression, second expression, that is b greater than a. If this is true, then this will be executed. If this is not true, then finally else block will be executed. So if both a and elif block both are not equal, then we go for what? Else block. So this is default. This is just like a default block in switch statement. First we'll check for this condition, if a is greater than b or not. If this is true, you'll execute this print and the remaining two blocks, elif and else block, will be ignored, right? Because you have selected this if block to execute. If this is false, then what you will do is you will check this condition, elif b greater than a. If this condition is true, then you will select this print statement. That means this will not ignore this if block as well as this else block. Only this block will be executed. If even this is also false, then finally you don't have any other option but this else block, right? If none of these if block and elif block are true, then finally without checking any other condition, we'll execute this one. So our program suits for this one, right? Two integers are taken as input from the keyboard. Then you are checking whether if a is greater than b. There are three options here: either a will be greater than b, or b will be greater than a, or both will be equal. There are no more other options, right? There are only three possibilities: either a will be greater than b, or b will be greater than a, or both will be equal. So if there are three possible options here, then we can use a simple if block, elif block, and an else block. If both these are, when the three options are available for you, if two options are not possible, then what is the only possible way? The final one, that is else block. So this else block gets executed. So if you run this program now, let me clear the screen first. So it will prompt me for 5 and then 9. So it will display 9 is largest. So let me execute it one more time. This time I'll give 10 and then say 5 I'll give. So 10 is largest. One more time. Now this time I'll give say 9 and second number is also 9. Then both are equal, right? So instead of saying 9 and 9 are equal, you can also specify both are equal. You can write in a more meaningful way like this: both A and B are equal. Both 9 and 9 are equal, right? Or simply, if you feel that it is looking awkward, 9 and 9 are equal, you can remove this A and B like this. Simply write like this: both are equal. Okay. So now I hope you understood, right? What is indentation and what is selection statement, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us see one more example using the same if elif, but this time instead of having just three possibilities, I have how many possibilities? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 possibilities. So what I am doing is this program is going to prompt the user to enter his marks out of 100 or something, and if this marks that the user enters is greater than 85 and less than 100, then we'll display a message called congrats, you scored grade A. Else if, instead of else if, remember in Python you have to use elif. Okay, elif marks greater than 60 and marks is less than or equal to 85. So you must notice one point here. I don't know whether you have observed by now or not. So if you have observed it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll tell you. If marks is less greater than 60 and less than or equal to 85, then you'll print a message you scored grade B plus. If marks are greater than 40 and less than or equal to 60, then you'll display a message you scored grade B. If marks greater than 30 and marks less than or equal to 40, then you will display a message you scored grade C. Else you will display a message sorry you are failed. Okay, this is the objective of this program, and you need to notice some things here. We have used the same if, elif, and else blocks here, but you must notice two important things here. If it is in C, what we'll do after the if statement, it is mandatory to use the parenthesis, right? So we have to open the parenthesis like this, and here also we have to close the parenthesis like this. But have we used these parentheses in the previous program? We didn't use it, right? So Python allows you, it will allow you to skip these parentheses and write the expression without any parentheses. But the only thing is you have to give a space between the keyword if and the expression. So there is a gap between this marks and if, right? So that gap is mandatory. So if you write like this, then you will get an error, right? So this one important point. And look at this one. This is not a simple expression that we are writing here in the if block. If marks greater than 85 and marks less than or equal to 100. So it is similar to, if it is in C language, how will you write this? Let me write this one here in the comment section so that you'll understand. If I have to write the same statement in C, I have to write like this: if marks greater than 85 and double ampersand marks less than or equal to 85. This is how I have to write this statement. But look at the way I've written in this Python program. I didn't use, first thing is I didn't use parenthesis, and second thing is instead of this ampersand, we have a keyword called and, which is normally we use in our English language, right, for and operation. So we have to use that keyword called and here for logical and operation. We'll discuss about operators tomorrow. Okay. So you can use this keyword and here. How is it looking like? It will actually look like a simple English sentence, right? If marks greater than 85 and marks less than or equal to 100, this is almost equivalent to an English statement, English sentence in a paragraph. So why we say Python is very simple means the program that you write using Python will almost look like simple English statements or English sentences. That's the reason why. If it is in C, what will you do is you will use this ampersand operation. So a new programmer in C language will not understand what is the meaning of this double ampersand. If it is simple English, we can use a single ampersand, but we are using a double ampersand. So he'll not understand what is the meaning of this and why we have to open this parenthesis here and close this parenthesis here. What is the meaning of this parenthesis? Will not understand. But in Python, even if you give parenthesis, it will work, no problem. But you need not give. You can write simply like this one. Okay. So I hope you understood this meaning of this statement, right? So if this condition is true, then you will print this message, congrats, you scored A plus. Then again elif, it is similar to else if in C language. I'm checking for one more condition. If marks are greater than 60 and less than or equal to 85. Sorry, here it is not 85, right? It is 100. Okay. So if it is greater than 60 and less than or equal to 85, then you will print this message. Elif greater than 40 and marks less than or equal to 60, you will print this message. Elif, you look at this elif statement here. I've used parenthesis, right? In all the other statements, in other elif statements and if statement, I didn't use parenthesis to enclose the expression, right? But here I didn't use it. So let us run this program and see the output. Save this. What is the file name? elif.py. So enter the marks. Say I'm giving 89. So it has to print. Congrats, you scored grade A. So let me execute one more time. So this time I'll say 55. Then it will say grade B. Now I'll say one more time I'll execute. So I'll give this time 30. So you are failed. Let me remove this question marks. You are looking my code.
The third elif statement, there will be a syntax error.
Where?
Third elif, you have used parenthesis.
Yeah, here, right. Not here. Here. I don't know. This one, third elif.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You should not get any syntax error, right? I told you, right? It is your wish. It is the wish of the user or the programmer whether to use it or not. Even if you use the parenthesis, nothing will happen. You can ignore it if you don't want to use it. That is what I mentioned. Okay, you can, or if you want, you can. Otherwise, you need not use. It is not mandatory. Just like semicolon. If you give semicolon, no error will be there in your program for every statement, right? So it is up to the user whether he wants to use a semicolon or not. Similarly, here also the parentheses are not mandatory; they are optional. It is up to the user whether he wants to use that parenthesis or not for if statement or elif statement or even for statements also. You'll also see for and while statements in the coming classes. There also the same. It is the same. It is up to the user. It is not mandatory. And if you give, no error will come. You have seen, right? The program does not give any error.
Okay, sir.
So now I'm entering 67. Sorry, I'm running the other program, I think. I'm giving 67. Then it will say you scored grade B plus. Okay. So is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us stop here for today.